What's crappening, y'all, and welcome to the new and improved updated boss guide for the Mistlands here in Valheim. And I'm going to try to make this as quick and painless as possible. So for starters, once you've gathered up enough materials to get you some leather armor and some weapons, whether it be knife and shield or bow and arrows, you're going to need 2 deer trophies and head to the Eikthyr altar to make your sacrifice. And for this easy chump, we're basically just going to use these rocks that are scattered right around the Forsaken altar, and we're going to roll around them, using to kind of bait him and trap him around the rocks and use it to evade him. So this is a super easy concept and very easily repeatable. You only have to watch out for his like electric antler slashes, because that can kind of shoot through the rocks. But without that, he is trash. So moving on to the Elder. Now you have to gather up 3 ancient seeds from the Grey Dwarf's nest scattered about the Black Forest, and once you have them and you have found the Elder's location and summoned him, we are just going to use a bow with about 200, I always bring about 200 fire arrows just to be certain that you have enough to slaughter his ass. And he only has 3 attack moves, so he'll stomp you if you get close, he'll summon vines, and he shoots vines long range. So basically you just have to conserve your stamina and stand behind these pillars right here, and you have to lure him to shoot, otherwise he will charge if you stay hidden too long. So you kind of have to expose yourself for a quick second, that way that he'll take a shot at you and it'll slow him down. As long as he thinks he's in range to shoot you with his vines, he'll stop and shoot you, but if you stay behind that pillar, he's going to come over and try to curb stomp your ass. But after a while, you will eventually whittle him down. You may have to repair your bow, so bringing a spare bow is never a bad idea when coming to fight somebody with an enormous amount of HP. But there you have it, and now you'll have your swamp key, which will give you access to iron. So moving on to Bonemass, we have this large skull right here, and you have to bring 10 withered bones found inside the sunken crypts throughout the swamps. And you really don't even need any iron. You just have to have the stag breaker, which is made with the deer trophies at your workbench. And you bring, of course, poison resistance meads, because you're going to need, and to create those you need neck and thistle and honey, of course. But you just stand up here and kind of pound him into obliteration. And yeah, I know this is a little cheesy, but it gets the job done, and it's extremely safe. Of course, bring health potions, because even with the poison mead, you still do take poison damage, and if you don't bring health pots, you will die for sure. Because this is definitely a long draw if you don't get the iron sledge and opt to take a stag breaker like I did, because I'm a minimalist, a lazy minimalist is what I am. But next up, moving on to the Queen Wyvern or Dragon, whatever she is, we have Motor. And you have to, of course, bring the 3 dragon eggs up here and place them on the altar, which are always scattered on the same mountain that the summoning altar's on, so it's usually fairly easy. But to fight her, we are going to make a nice flat spot to give her a good area to land, so when she lands, you know, her tail's not pointing up in the air, or we just have a good spot to roll around in battle. And then we're going to raise the ground about 1 space apart or 2 spaces apart, and just give us these little pillars. That way we have something to hide behind and keep her ice breath from kind of tearing us up and freezing us, because that stuff is pretty devastating. And at the same time, we can also use these earthen pillars to make like a little barrier. We can trap her so we can see her head. You'll see in just a second as we use them to our advantage to block the ice breath right there, which normally would light you up, and it litters the ground, so it makes it hard to move around. So now that we have him here, she kind of can help clear out the ice as well, and we can use it to dodge her swings and her ice breath, because she has a ground ice breath spray like that, and she won't blow it directly at the wall, so she'll pick either the right or the left, and you just kind of mosey around it. Extremely good tool to have in your toolbox, your Viking toolbox, that is. You just kind of rinse and repeat over and over. Of course, you are going to need a ton of arrows, health pots, and if you don't have mountain armor, of course, frost potions. But boom, there you have it, and you have her tears scattered about, which will allow you to have access to the artesian table, the next tier. So moving into the plains, I have brought a lock, so better go ahead and get my saddle off this chump. Get it out? Good, because you're about to die. The locks don't stand a chance. Now, if you do bring a big number of animals to this fight, you can cream him with a whole bunch of animals. Yagluth or Yagluth, well, however you say it. But seeing as how I brought one, you can just get a little bit of a dent off of them. They'll come in and they'll do a couple ground slams, and they'll take a little bit right there, kind of just knock the edge. If you brought 10 of them, it would take at least a quarter of his health. But as you can see, we did the same pattern that we did with Motor. We raised up the earthen pillars right here to use them to hide from some of the meteor strikes, and of course like his fire laser breath. Now it is good to note for Yagluth, I did bring a backup bow and 2 stacks of arrows just to be sure that we had enough. And I know some people are saying that you can use these big rock fingers to do the same thing, but he destroys those super fast, as most people know. But there you have it, he's dead, and now you have the Torn Spirits, which will allow you to make the Wisp Fountains. And of course, last but not least, old Queenie Pooh in the Mistlands, after collecting the 8 pieces of the Divergent Seal that are scattered inside the infested ruins, you can now come and unlock the Queen's infested citadel. Now, using this starting area to our advantage, we're going to lure her over here. There she is in all of her fat glory. And we're going to cheese her through the wall like so with the Humanolf, or however you say this Norse word. But being able to strike her through the wall is a little cheesy, and it takes a long time, especially when your 2-hand is so low like mine. I've only used daggers the entire time because daggers have always been the way to go. But comboing with the magic, we can pop out, light her on fire. You can even throw down a couple campfires down there. She'll attack them, but it helps like in between while your stamina's recovering. But either way, it's a long grind with or without cheese. But we have done it all, successfully slain the queen. Was nice. And now, of course, we have our little cube placeholder items like they did with Yagluth until the next update comes, of course. And by hanging her trophy, it allows us to have an increased mining speed, increased Eikthyr regeneration by 100%. But hey, if you made it this far and you liked the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And I'll catch you silly sluts in the next one.